Preparing your child for DSA admission and scholarship. Many parents worry about one thing. Will my child get into a good school? And naturally, the first instinct is to focus on the grades. More tuition, more practice papers, and more studying. But something interesting has been happening in the education system over the past few years. When students have good grades, some still struggle when it comes to opportunities like direct school admission, leadership opportunities, and scholarships later in life. Many students are very capable academically. They know how to solve problems, they know how to study, but when they ask questions like, tell us more about your strength, what have you learned from your experiences, how will you contribute to the school? They struggle to answer, not because they're not smart, but because they have not been taught how to reflect on their experiences, how to communicate their ideas, or how to understand their strengths. In the past, education was mainly about studying hard and scoring well, but today, schools increasingly look at whole students. So, what schools and scholarships look for? Whether is it direct school admission like DSA, scholarship interviews later in life, many institutions look at qualities such as confidence in communication, leadership and initiative, passion in an area of interest, the ability to reflect on experiences, character and resilience, and in other words, they want to know who is this student becoming, not just what score did this student achieve. So, for parents whose children are graduating either in primary school or secondary school, this stage is actually very, very important because this is when students start forming their interests, their confidence, their sense of identity, and when students begin to understand how they learn best, what they enjoy doing, what their strengths are, they start developing something much deeper than academic knowledge. They start developing self-awareness and ownership. So that's why, after teaching in Yes 21 for over a past decade, students learn things like understanding their learning profile, their VIPs, discovering their strengths and interests, developing confidence in communication, upgrading their mindset and motivation, because success in the future is not just about knowing the answer. It's all about knowing yourself and being able to express that confidently. So, the bigger perspective, preparing a child for life today is very different from the past. In the past, formula was simple: study hard, score well, get into a good school. But today, opportunities comes to students who can think independently, communicate clearly, show leadership, understand their purpose, and these skills take time to develop. So if you're a parent thinking about your child's future, perhaps the question is not about how can we help them score better, but also how do we help them understand who they will become. Because when students understand themselves, they approach learning, opportunities, and challenges very, very differently. Parents watching this, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Do you think that schools today focus more on grades or the overall development of students? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoy this video, remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!